Welcome to No Stats, where we call it how we see it.
Back again with another one.
We are back, good brother. And before we jump in, real quick, as always, like, share, comment, good, bad, ugly, right, Peach? We take it all.
We need it
Don't
all.
forget to hit that bell, subscribe, so y'all can stay locked in. Don't miss out on any of this great content we're gonna keep giving y'all. So do y'all thing, and we're gonna do ours.
Watch the handle, it takes skill. We gotta run it back. We in the field, and you said it exact. You in your field, we looking for the facts. Let's keep it real, yeah, we talking no stats. Yeah, we talking no stats. Yeah, we talking no stats.
Yes,
Savage, I'm gonna start things off immediately.
What's up?
DHop to the Tennessee Titans. Now we just previously did a segment on the Tennessee Titans. I think what we had them finishing 4-12.
I can tell you.
Yeah, tell me real quick. We was
No,
kind of
7-10.
7-10. We was kind of crucifying their, receiver core, getting on Ryan Tannehill a little bit. But I was gonna ask, does this tip the scale a little bit? This DHop signing. Could we maybe see a 9-8 season instead of a 7-10? What do you think?
I'm glad you went 9-8 and not like 3 or 4
Yeah,
more
you know what I'm
wins.
saying. I wasn't gonna give them too much. They're the Titans.
Yeah. I would say maybe 8-9, 9-8, possibly. I think that's the ceiling. And it still could very well be 7-10. DeAndre Hopkins is one of the best receivers, of his last decade or whatever, of our generation that we saw. He put in a lot of work with quarterbacks that weren't even the top of the top. I mean, if you can make Tom Savage and quarterbacks like Matt Schaub and these guys look good in Houston, you can do a lot, but we have to accept reality. Like, I know the name is DeAndre Hopkins, and I know he still has more left in the tank. I know he feels that way. I know Titans fans hope he does. I know his fans think he does. But it's a reason why you're in this situation, right? Like, the top dudes aren't in these situations where they're trying to find a team. Teams don't want to give them too much money, so they end up on a team like the Titans, who aren't really a passing offense, right? So your numbers really won't be too gaudy. So I don't think it's a big deal. Like, I know DeAndre Hopkins, the name is going to sell. Same thing, like guys like DeAndre Hopkins and Odell Beckham, they're good signings because of the names. But I like to keep it in perspective. Like, it's a new era of wide receivers. Not saying that those guys still can't be productive, but they're not going to be dominant players like a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill. Like, those dudes, Cooper Kupp, they're still in their prime. And guys, like I said, guys can still produce on the field, but yeah, one win maybe.
Probably can't produce as the number one guy, and that's what I was kind of skeptical about the situation. Is DHop a number one receiver still?
But hey, it's better than what they have.
Nah, it definitely is though, and it's gonna be interesting to see because now I know he's not AJ Brown, but it gives Ryan Tannehill that veteran starter that that kind of could be reliable. Take a little bit of the pressure off Derrick Henry, so he's not fucking running the ball 9 times on the damn drive. So
net facts. Now here's the question though: is DeAndre Hopkins going to get upset when Derrick Henry's toting that thing, having a great game? He's not getting a lot of targets. He's not in a pass-heavy offense. Like an older guy like Devontae Adams, who is still playing at the top of his game, right? He's an anomaly. But a guy like Devontae Adams, he goes to Vegas where they're going to throw the ball most of the time. I mean, they give Josh Jacobs some carries, but they're an aired-out offense. Well, last year they were with Derek Carr. So he's still in a favorable situation. The Titans, teams like the Titans, the Browns, teams with great running backs, top-heavy running backs, you don't get a lot of passing options. You're not going to get a lot of those targets. So when he's not getting those targets, is he going to be okay with that? Or is it going to be like, feed me the ball? Because then that can cause more problem. You know what I mean?
We shall see. I said this throughout the time we've been recording videos. When you get those guys in new pastures, they get a little something to play for. So you never know. You know, the situation, he was in Arizona, right?
Yeah, he was in
You
Arizona.
know, so I don't think that situation was as up to par as people think. So who knows, man?
I mean,
who knows what version of DHop we'll get?
So apparently the Chiefs and the Bills were in talks with him, trying to figure things out. But they were telling him, look, we'll give you X amount of dollars, and you can come prove it. Basically, a prove it year. You know, you got a chance to win. Kind of like Juju's a little younger, but the Juju Smith-Schuster situation, right? Juju had that stint in Pittsburgh. A lot of people, I wasn't feeling him. A lot of people wasn't feeling him. He was doing the whole TikTok thing. He went to Kansas City, got a chance, won a Super Bowl, and then the Patriots come and throw some money at him. So you kind of pump some life into that career. That's what they were offering DeAndre Hopkins. Like, we can't pay you too much, but you can come have a chance to compete for a Super Bowl. I think the Titans report said the Titans and the Patriots was going to give him almost double of what the Bills and the Chiefs was offering him. So DeAndre Hopkins went with the money. Can never question that, you know, someone's decision to take the bread, get your money by any means. But just know there's not going to be an air it out situation where you're going to get 12 targets a game. You know?
At all. You could kind of see the cards on the tables with the organizations. I think teams like the Patriots and the Titans, they need receivers. Whereas, like, you look at the Chiefs and the Bills, we could use you, DHop, but we don't really need you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
right. Especially with all the question marks, bro. Like, I remember seeing reports and news that an anonymous coach or scout around the league, and you take it with a grain of salt, right? But said DeAndre Hopkins can't really run the way he used to. Like, the injury is really messing with him and things like that. Again, take it with a grain of salt. Don't know if it's true, but why is that, you know, coming out? What's going on? Why, you know, why isn't the money what it should be for a guy like DeAndre Hopkins? Devontae Adams is going to get paid. So injuries do take an effect. Man, he's been doing this. He's been doing this at a high level for a long time. You know, all pro level, Pro Bowl level. So it's just 5 times undefeated. It's football. It's a collision sport. So I think the Titans is better than what they have. It'll help out a little bit, not tremendously. Still put them third in that.
Seth is basically
second.
He's basically just saying they may win 8 games. We're gonna keep it at 7.
I'm trying to think of an NBA equivalent for getting DHop. It's like see, Chris Paul went to the Warriors, but a guy that's later in their career, that's a star that you don't really feel like can contribute too much. He won't move that needle.
Yeah,
exactly, tremendously, but he can help a little bit. And I think that's probably where Chris Paul is at in his career.
Definitely is. That's a good comparison, bro. So, I wanted to ask you this too. We're staying with the contact, but I've been seeing the news with the running back market, and a lot of these running backs have been speaking out. So I want to ask you, what do you think's going on with the running back market, and why these organizations kind of like, you know, teetering back and forth to where they're not giving these guys the money that, you know, some of them do deserve. But what's kind of scaring these organizations off, you think?
I think it's the way the game has changed, bro. Like, the game, the NFL, winning schemes, winning teams are pass heavy. It's not the way of the past, right? You used to have guys, it was defense and a run game that won you Super Bowls. It was defense and a run game. Those Pittsburgh Steelers team, Baltimore Ravens, when Sean Alexander and Seattle, even Marshawn Lynch. I mean, Russell Wilson was growing into his own, but it was defense and it was ground and pound. We're going to stop you. We're going to run the ball with a good running back, and we're going to score it. Now it's becoming a more spread offense, offensive teams. I mean, think about the last couple teams that won the Super Bowls or been to the Super Bowl. The Eagles, right? They had Miles Sanders, but they was able to move on for him because and quarterbacks can run as well. So now our quarterback can get a bulk of those rushing yards. He can take off, and that's a form of a running game. It's still a running game. So the running back position is becoming less valuable because they're dropping back, they're throwing more. A lot of these coaches are offensive-minded coaches. But look at the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco. Like,
I don't even want to cut you off, bro, because I want the touch on that. But what about the anomaly running backs when you got a guy like Austin Eckler in Los Angeles to where, like, he's not – I feel like, some of these running backs can be one-dimensional to where, like, it's just grounded pound. But when you got guys that can actually step out there, catch passes like Austin Eckler, Saquon Barkley's another dynamic running back that can play out there. So it's kind of like he's a running back, but he can actually be like a slot guy. Josh Jacobs, same thing. It's like,
but my thing
is not value.
No, I agree 100%, bro. These guys should get paid. They're phenomenal talent. Some of these guys are putting organizations on their backs, i.e. Saquon Barkley, and guys like that. But you got to put yourself in the owner's shoes. These guys are in GM shoes. They're thinking strictly business. They're thinking trends. They have bar graphs and line graphs and history. All analytics, bro. They're breaking everything down, patterns and trends and things like that, bro. And you got to look, all right, am I going to pay a running back who's taking basically a lot of punishment, maybe the most punishment? He's running full speed into these, linemen and linebackers and defensive ends, and then play him at slot and pay him all this money, right? If he can play slot and all of that and be a receiver, or am I just going to pay us a nice slot and get an average running back? When you look at, and when I bring up trends, because name me the last great or top running back to win a Super Bowl. Look what the Rams 2 years ago. Where's Cam Akers? Isaiah Pacheco.
I mean, you look at Todd Gurley.
Leonard Fournette at the end of his career. Where is he at? Yeah, Todd Gurley. Where is he at? I'm just going through it. The Patriots never really had no crazy running back. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they did it by committee.
So what are you gonna? Is the position just gonna fizzle out at that point? Because I think then if I'm up and coming and I'm seeing this, I could be a fucking 8th grader. I'm a running back, and I'm seeing what's happening in the market right now. I'm switching position immediately because it's like I'm gonna get devalued no matter what I can do in that position. Because it's like I'm not one dimensional. I can do all these different things. Just take the fucking position out of the game if you're not gonna pay these guys that actually do their fucking job the right way.
Yep. And it sucks, bro. And you land up in a situation where it's like I'm putting technically, my body and my, could be life. I mean, we saw what happened with Damar Hamlin on the line every play for a franchise, and they don't value that or see that. And like I said, especially when you're putting butts in seats like a Saquon Barkley. The Titans were talking about moving on from Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler, with the list just goes on and on. And Dalvin Cook, who still doesn't have a team. And then you look at a guy like Joe Mixon, who's been productive, right, for my Bengals. He just took a pay cut, like literally his money in half. A lot of that is because you have to pay Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but that's the way the NFL is trending, bro. They want to see points. It's no longer the ground and pound defensive teams. Defense is still very important, and that's why they get paid as such. But they want to see the quarterbacks drop back. They want to see the receivers. They want to see, bombs and go routes. And so it sucks. It sucks, bro.
It's tough to be a running back in today's NFL, man. Hope they
is, but they are valuable. They are valuable. But they feel as though they can get a guy like Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, think about it. In the beginning of the season, bro, Isaiah Pacheco was a guy from Rutgers. I think he was a 7th-round draft pick. He was able to fill in and win a Super Bowl.
But, bro, don't you eventually, once you have moments like that, say, for example, Isaiah Pacheco has a breakout year this year. Now, the price, yesterday's price ain't today's price. The price is going to go up. So it's like, all right,
Exactly.
so what's his value
But
now if these guys ain't
but
worth
then
this?
yeah, but then the draft gonna come up, and we're gonna just find somebody. Price go up, draft come up. We're gonna find somebody to pay you, and we're gonna replace like we did in previous years. We're gonna depend on our scouting department to get a young guy that's gonna come in here and play his heart out on a rookie contract. We're gonna
Yes, man.
and
This is
it
crazy,
sucks,
man.
bro. But this is the way that
What do you
that's the way they're
do?
thinking
You
about it.
think do the Giants pay Saquon before the season start?
I mean,
They
Saquon is
did
a
make him.
franchise tag.
Didn't they make him an offer though, and he didn't take it? Is that what
They
happened?
franchise tagged him. So they gave him, I think it was about 10 or 11 million. Franchise tag is you don't get a long term deal, but you can't enter free agency. We put a franchise tag on you.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke about this a few like earlier in the no stats lifeline. But
This
but
wants to be a millionaire.
right. The franchise tag is basically saying we're gonna give you, close to the top market value for the position, but it's no long term. And they can do that, I believe, 2 or 3 times. So I mean, he'll get paid a nice amount, but it's not that long term security that these running backs want because, like I said, you're taking these hits, you're putting your body and your life on the line every time you go out there. You just want to feel valued. You know what I mean? It's like your job saying, we're going to pay you for this week, but we're going to see about next week. It's like, yo, hold on, man. Like,
I'm out, man. I'm out. This is. I don't think this is gonna. I really don't think this is gonna end well, man.
I don't know, bro. I think he's going to end up signing it, though, bro. He's not going to leave 10 or 11 or whatever the price is on the table. He's going to go get that bread. I don't know how it's going to shake out, but I'm glad that the running backs seem to have each other's back. And it's being brought up and it's being brought to light. Because hopefully, when you shed light on things, it can move that needle a little bit and get some more eyes and attention on it. And maybe they can get a little more respect, and they're just due.